if we could have our claps before, so we know we are loved and not judged, if you could please. Thank you. Okay, so I'll just start by introducing myself. I'm Swaroop. I'm actually quite a bit because I've studied fashion, and after that I did my master's in fashion and textiles. I'm a self-taught photographer, a graphic artist. I'm dwelling in crafts at the moment. I'm teaching in Indian Institute of Crafts and Design. And one of my areas which really interests me is emerging trends. And I wanted to start talking about the trends in the West and the directions that we see. And me being a fashion person, it's interesting because I've always seen trends in fashion, and of late, all other spheres of design seemed very sort of influenced by it. It was quick and there was change. And what is interesting is that it seems like it's changing again, and the first context I wanted to talk about was this whole idea that, the little and often is getting replaced by fewer but better, which means that you want to spend more money for a better experience, for a better product. And in that sense, you're consuming vital and consuming less. The people who designed it are mentioned there. Like this tool, which is a traditional design, but is a much better value for money. The vase and the bowl, and the base of the bowl basically doubles up as a chopping board, and it's very honest. You can see the textures of the material, it's worth it, and so it's value for money. It's not something very frugal. These are basically reminiscence of sort of 50s design, and you can do a lot of mix and match in the way that you would be able to use the tables. Okay, this is another very interesting piece where these can be there as installations in the house as decorations, but they are also utilitarian. So you can use it or display it. So it just seemed a very interesting sort of an approach to use these products. The next one that I wanted to talk about was this whole idea that whatever is discarded, whatever looks cheap doesn't have value. Yeah, and I think this is actually getting questioned. And in this whole process, these three words, conservation, collaboration, and in that process, creation, is becoming very, very relevant. We'll just see some examples of that. There are these plastic, pieces which are actually waste, which then gets rewoven. So you don't know if it's treasure or trash, or it's a combination of the both. So I think what we put value in is something that we need to really discuss about. What do we put value on? Okay. These are some interesting outfits. It's an installation by Nikkei, and they're basically called sound suits, and very interesting influences from all around the world, Caribbean culture, because when it has like embedded music with it, and when you play, you have sort of nuances of sort of hula dance that you can get, a lot of tribal dance. So that looks very interesting. But the material that he uses is a mixture of found objects and objects which are high-tech. So basically the source then becomes ambiguous. So it's a very interesting sort of a cultural perspective. Okay, the third context that I wanted to talk about was necessary, and as it says that it seems we have become rich in things we don't really want, so I think that is the very essential question that we need to address, what is necessary. And I think as you can see in the bottom, there are so many countries where they have buy nothing day now, which means refrain from buying if you really don't need it. Okay, and if you could look at the assortment of countries, it's almost looking like it's zigzagging the world. So this approach basically talks about putting objects together, which is absolutely utilitarian. Here, the clips are being used to put the boxes together, which then becomes multifunctional. You could use it as separations, or you could use it for bookshelves. So the whole assortment of how you can put it together. Okay, and these screw clamp tables. These lights, which are assortments, then can actually go onto the stand, and depending on the scenario you want to use it and the ambience, you can keep changing the lights. So it's an interesting mix and match. Again, like, you could pack it up, you could sit, has a industrial feel to it. The fourth approach is that, I think there is too many things happening, there is an overload of information, and a lot of people, as a reaction to it, is receding back from it and going back to basics, okay? And in that sense, nature is becoming glorified, and also crafts are becoming important again. These are some of the products which are coming out of it, which is a connection with the indigenous cultures. And Micah's work also looks like it's just been needled, and it's not really been fired yet. But this is her finished product, and assortments like this. This installation is very interesting. It was inspired by how in Italy bread making as a process was there as a single unit, sustainable unit. A village could do everything that it required and generated everything of it. So actually all the products that you see here, apart from the brooms, are developed from dough. Of course, it's a sort of like a transient art. So, like the installation in terms of the bread, and then also the products which were made out of dough. Okay, and use of sort of traditional techniques and crafts. Okay, so I basically, coming from background of crafts and also someone who has a background of fashion, have been looking at trends. I wanted to understand why is it that after dealing so much with material, they're coming back to, or they're sounding like they're coming back to philosophies of the East, the Orient. And I was trying to figure this out. This was a question that was there, and it seems that from Industrial Revolution onwards, these have been the two reasons: increase of commerce and satisfaction of human luxury and convenience have been the two most important reasons of creation, because industry has been actually driving, in certain sense, product development. Maybe it's not working, I think the recession did find gaps in the whole capitalistic system, and I think the problem is that, till we fragment ourselves, when there is us and them, problems would persist. And I think the idea perhaps could be addressed as we being the part of the cosmos and the larger whole, and not we alone as humans. So it could be interesting to see everything in relationship. So if if they don't exist, we won't exist. So this whole idea of save the earth, I feel is a little hypocritical, because I think it's our survival that we care for and not the earth's, maybe at a certain level. Okay, so now let's look at how the approaches have been very different in when we sort of address this issue. See, in Ayurveda, when there is a problem, oh goodness, it's half my presentation. Actually, in the Orient, when we look at problem solving, I just need 5 minutes. In the Orient, when we address problems, especially let's say look at Ayurveda, what happens is that if there is a problem, you look at it as a distress symbol from the body saying something's not going right. But that necessarily doesn't mean that the part which is showing that reaction is the problem area. So you look at the larger harmony. What happens in the Western system is that you dissect a problem and then you take one part and then you try and find solutions for it. So while you address that part, in design also is a part of the problem. Maybe if we, sort of change our perspective of how we look at things, it might give us better solutions. So, in India, we've always believed in the fact that we are spiritual beings, yeah, and the body is a part of it. So, and it's required for both levels. If you are for a religious pursuit, also for material pursuits, you would like to basically indulge in spirituality. And it's important that if you look at Indian art, that's why there is a lot of symbolism embedded in things, and we'll come to it later as to how that helps in the creative process. So we know that things are transient. Though we dwell in it, we love the material, but we know that it's not going to last. But it could be interesting to see how transientness, things that pass away and is not permanent, is relevant. And it could actually be celebration of life itself, because we know that it's not going to be there permanently, so you celebrate it. And I wanted to show you this work by Andy Goldsworthy. His name's worthy of it, because he got thousands of pounds for this body of work. He's an artist practicing in UK. He just left it, and it's actually called Rain Shadow. Okay, and all his art actually is transient. He creates because he says, I co-create with the nature, and when I exit, after that also the creation or the process goes on. So a lot of his art, the whole approach is about finding objects wherever he's working and using them. And he's getting, like millions of pounds for doing work like this, which actually, only documentation that you would have of his work is in his photographs, that's all. Yeah, this is like a feather which he slitted and then created this piece. Leaves, which, so he basically goes to a space, finds objects and puts them together. So a simile in Indian culture would be something like Alpana or floor iterations, which is like transient art. It's there in the morning, it's not there, and then next day you create it again. So in certain sense, you're celebrating the impermanence. So maybe the answer for design lies in the fact that it needs to be an experience. Yeah. Then. Maybe we can build in a connection here, because if it deals with our existence, then experiences, what do they do for us if we could look at that part? And interestingly, these are the three parts. Okay, the scriptures say that whatever is created, there could be three ways in which it's perceived or used. The first one is aesthetic, which is like you're perceiving it through your senses. The second part actually is then deciphering it into knowledge, and the third is that then sets you free. So it's a very interesting approach, and everything. That's why if you see sort of Indian art, traditional art, which have been created, is symbolic. This is actually a symbolism of Om.